bringing it to you always. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Orange or black, we rebuild the pack. No matter where we at, you know we coming back. Section 336, we on this, so tune in. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Yeah, welcome to Birdland. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Now, here come the boys from Section 336.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Baltimore sports fans of all ages, welcome to Section 336, Next Generation of Baltimore Sports Talk. I am your endearingly stuttering host. This week on PTI, their 20th year anniversary. What?
Did you say your name?
Yeah, I'm doing Matt Soroka. I haven't introduced you yet.
I didn't hear Matt Soroka. You just went straight into like a PTI story.
Oh, yeah. This is Matt Soroka. No, for the 20th year anniversary for PTI, pardon the interruption, they had Barack Obama come on their show and say a few words honoring them for their 20th show.
Okay.
Josh, when we do their 20th season, Josh, when we hit our 20th anniversary, who will our special guest speaker be? Certainly not Barack Obama.
No. 20th anniversary?
Yeah. Who are we bringing in here to speak?
I guess... Well, what are we at now? 8 years? 9 years? I think we're at 8 years, right?
Yeah, 12 more years.
All right, so 12 years. So I will be 53.
Lord willing.
We will. I don't know. Silas will come on. You have someone better? I mean, I was going to say the intern, but I don't know if he'll be around. I don't even know if he's alive now, let alone 12 years from now.
That's true. It's a 50-50 chance. No, I think after the Orioles win the World Series and people have forgiven Chris Davis, maybe bring Chris Davis back on here.
Chris Davis? That's always welcome.
Davis. Yeah.
If you want to go by a former guest, then yeah, Chris Davis makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah. Or at that point, we might get whoever's inducted to the Hall of Fame that year. Would that be? I don't know. I guess maybe a little early for Cedric Mullins to be inducted to the Hall of Fame.
I was going to say, I think it's that. We're in such a sad state of affairs that 12 years from now, there still will not be an Oriole inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, because
it would mean the guy has to play Hall of Fame worthy for like the next 7 years, retire, and then sit on the shelf for 5 years.
Yeah, and there's no one who really has that opportunity.
There's no one that's going to put that in. No.
Yeah, not yet.
Maybe Zany Burt Rodeo will have another story for us by then. Yeah,
there we go. Celebrate 20th anniversary. We'll bring Burt back here.
I want to talk to you about something today that is going to lead to we haven't had a guest on 336 in a while.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And I'm going to have a guest booked in the next couple of weeks.
Okay, I want to have a guest booked in the next couple of weeks too. We talk about off air.
Okay. All right. We're going to talk about mine on air
today. Oh, okay.
Because it's I guess we'll save it for ball 4.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you about a new podcast.
Oh, sweet. Always love new podcasts. There's not enough out there, so let's throw a couple more on there.
So Matt, this was your I guess I don't think you introduced me, so I'll just start with hello from Braves country.
I said, Josh, who would you have?
Okay.
On the
hello from Braves country. It's nice to finally be in the World Series.
Yeah, you coming to us from Florida.
I went to multiple stores today to try to buy a Braves jersey to annoy you on the podcast today. Because everyone down here at work and all friends, they're all Braves fans. They're all taking credit for their team finally making it to the World Series as if it hasn't happened in their lifetime. And
now, Josh, you were there during the last World Series you were in Florida. Did you notice Tampa Bay was in the World Series. Did you notice a lot of Tampa Bay gear last year?
A little bit, but not as much as the Braves gear.
Yeah.
But what I saw a lot of Bucks fans. I've been waiting my whole life for a Super Bowl. A lot of suddenly Buccaneers fans here in Jacksonville.
Yeah, and do you take issue with when people go cross sports like Tampa Bay Buccaneers and then Atlanta Braves? Do you take issue with the cross sports?
I'd like to know why. I understand.
You want sports fans to explain to you their fandom.
Yes,
yeah.
I understand the Braves fans here,
yeah.
And I get it because the Braves were here well before Tampa, well before Miami.
Yeah,
Atlanta,
3 letters.
3.5, 4 hours away. TBS broadcast them everywhere.
Yeah.
But it's like a road trip. It would not be a problem. If the Orioles were playing in Atlanta, I could easily make that trip.
Right.
No big deal. So I understand that, and I get that. It's just, come on, is this what I get to learn about Jacksonville in the first 2 years here, is that they jump on board with every championship team? Just settle down. You had the Rays last year. You can't have the Rays and the Braves. You can't have the Bucks, the Lightning, and then the Braves. If you've got the Bucks and the Lightning, you're stuck with the Rays. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So, but as much as here's what irritated me even more, because everyone down here says they're Braves fans, lifelong Brave fans. I went to a Target today, and I went to a Academy Sports, which is like the Florida version of Dick's. No Braves shirts, and the Academy person just laughed at me like, why would that be here?
Because they're sold out, or no, because they just don't sell them?
Because they don't sell them. She said, we never have them. She told me I have to go to Fanatics. So she directed me to a website so she's telling me there's no stores in Jacksonville that would sell Braves gear, but everyone at work tells me they're Braves fans. So, yeah.
Something doesn't add up there.
I know, but since I'm now in a Jacksonville-ish, St. Augustine residence, I am a Braves fan.
Fair enough. I'm undecided where my loyalties lie for the World Series.
You told me this weekend you were not undecided.
Yeah, I mean, I like Dusty Baker. Dusty Baker reminds me of Buck Showalter, right? Ton of wins, old school, throwback, never won a World Series.
Right. But I feel like the Braves remind me of the old school baseball of not analytics and just a scrappy bunch of guys.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, all the GMs, right, are super analytical. So it is what it is.
Right.
But you're right, Josh. Both managers, I mean, the Braves manager, Brian Snitker, he's kind of old school too. And so I think the interesting thing, because some people have linked Buck Showalter to San Diego Padres, and some of the more kind of younger, I think really pretty intelligent Oriole fans snicker at that because they think Buck Showalter is like a laughing stock as a manager.
I don't think,
and they would think but they would think Dusty Baker's a laughing stock because they think if you're not kind of a mathematician and if you don't know about WOBA and all this stuff, then you can't manage. But I would argue there's a lot more than managing a team outside the sabermetrics. I mean, and you can have a guy on your bench to give you advice as far as when to pull a pitcher and all that stuff. Like you can have that guy on your bench, but I don't think that needs to be the manager.
And everything. Yeah.
Yeah. And you can have a guy who prints off the note cards on how to pitch and how to play and how to position all that stuff. But I don't think that always needs to be the manager. And so it encourages me that you do have two kind of old school, old fashioned managers in the World Series, even though Houston won't even extend Dusty Baker. And what they're going to do with them after they win that's probably why I want the Astros to win the World Series, because they don't want Dusty Baker as their manager. They just brought him in to clean up the appearances, the whole cheating scandal, because that's why he's never been renewed. So what do you do with him if they win the World Series? Do you fire him after he wins the World Series? I think that'd be pretty entertaining.
Yeah, I think I'm always a fan of the player's coach. It's why I like John Harbaugh. It's why I love Buck Showalter. I feel like the non-analytic coaches are way more player coaches. Analytical coaches are not players coaches. They see the players as computers.
Yeah.
So I love this setup.
Yeah, and I mean the other good thing you look at Brian Snitker, the thing you like about him is he a little bit of the Brandon Hyde thing in that he been there for a while. So you would like to see that he's been there since 2016, which is not an incredible long time, but for the lifetime of a manager, it feels like a long time. His first year, he was there for 124 games, only won 59. The second year he was there, lost 90 games his second year with the team. And then slowly they kind of have built up from there and had a lot of success. But this is, again, his first trip to the World Series as well. So new blood. The Astros, of course, have been there recently, but yeah, I'm looking forward to the World Series.
It's a World Series where I can actually watch and not just hate one of the teams.
Yeah, if it was the Dodgers versus the Red Sox, I wouldn't watch it. I don't think I would watch it.
No, not at all.
Maybe I would watch it just in the sense that I would be rooting hard for the Red Sox to lose, maybe even against the Dodgers.
Right. It's the type of game where I used to get in trouble for wishing for earthquakes.
Yeah.
Can't do that anymore. It's 2021.
Yeah. And listen, I get the Astros, the cheat scandal. I get all that. There's very few remaining players.
Right.
Or managers or GMs. Like a lot of people were like going fired or kind of moved away. So there's very few players remaining from that original team. But yeah, I think I'm slightly rooting for lean towards the Astros, but
That'll
I'm
be good.
also not.
You're
I don't
leaning towards the
feelings.
Astros. I'm
Yeah, I
leaning
don't
towards the
strong feelings
Braves.
either way, though.
We're all good.
Yeah. All right, fine.
So.
Yeah, and that's our World Series preview.
Yeah, I mean that's about it. Starts tomorrow.
Yeah, I just hope the games don't last 6 hours. That's all I'm rooting for.
Well, there's no Dodgers, there's no Red Sox in it. The game should be okay.
Yeah, you don't need to. I don't know what time the games are starting, but you don't need to start the games at 8 o'clock, right? Because you don't need that West Coast.
Oh, you're gonna still start at 8 because you want the prime time.
Oh man, they do, Josh. I'll let this go, but they do have a problem when every game ends at midnight on the East Coast.
Oh, totally.
I think that's a big problem.
It is.
But whatever.
It is a problem.
I don't know who you have to be diehard to stay up till midnight.
Right. Well, or your team's in it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Diehard.
Yeah. Yeah. I think with these two teams, I don't think it'll be 4-hour games. But still, well, I mean, we've got these computers in front of us. Let's see what time the game actually starts.
I looked up. It starts at 8:09.
8:09.
Yeah.
Oh, what happened to 8:08? They're pushing it back another minute. What are they doing? 2 national anthems or something? Got to push it back a minute?
Yeah, it looks like all the games start at 8:09 every game. 8:09, 8:09, 8:09.
Yeah, and
except for Sunday, October 31st, 8:15. Then 8:09 for all the other games.
Why would you start at 8:15?
I suppose
What
8:09.
are you scared of?
On Sunday?
Yeah, like why would you go 8:09, 8:09, 8:09, 8:15?
I don't
What's
know.
different on a Sunday? That 6 minutes is going to make a difference.
Yeah, I mean, you're already going up against Sunday Night Football, so
I guess is Sunday Night Baseball always an 8:15 start?
we're not watching you anyway.
Maybe.
Yeah, I guess so.
Maybe. I don't know.
But
Or is that Game 7? Would Sunday be Game 7?
oh, I don't know. But yeah, but it should be. I mean, the whole series starts off tomorrow, 8:09. Hopefully, all the games are on Fox, so you don't have to hunt around for the game. And yeah,
I don't know.
Right.
Maybe it's Halloween. They need that extra 6 minutes for some trick or treating.
for people to get home and trick or treating.
Right.
Maybe there'll be some trick or treating pregame stuff.
Right. They need that extra few minutes for a little bit more to get in some extra Halloween jokes in and some video packages of ghosts of baseball.
Yeah. I think that would be good. I think if all the players dressed up in Halloween outfits and played the game in Halloween outfits, I would watch that. That'd be good.
I agree. I would watch that.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't Halloween, I would watch that. All-Star game?
That's true.
I'd watch it.
You want to? How about we talk a little Ravens and then we'll get into the Orioles?
All right. That was an ugly game yesterday. All right. Let's get into the Orioles.
Josh, we used to joke about having pitching tryouts because the Orioles are so desperate for pitchers. We could probably go in there, and try out. I think we can do that. We should do the same thing for anyone who can tackle. Like, are the Ravens looking for tryouts for anyone who can tackle a player?
Mm-hmm. Do you remember those Weeble Wobbles when we were kids?
Love the Weeble Wobble.
I was wondering if we can
up.
go. I think we should start a campaign where we go on Amazon and we just send Weeble Wobbles to the Ravens castle so that everyone can practice tackling.
Yeah.
Because we had a huge problem with tackling on Sunday.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, my final thoughts on the game. I don't like to talk about losses. I didn't turn on 105.7. I didn't check Twitter.
Did you hear about the drunk guy?
Huh?
Did you hear about the drunk guy?
No. I ignored everything. I don't like to talk or think about losses.
Got into the broadcast booth during the Ravens game, the radio broadcast booth.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, Sandusky apparently yelled at him to get out.
I like Sandusky. But no, my final thought is I think it's a good loss. I think you have bad losses, you have good losses. I think this is a good loss. I think the fact that it comes before a bye week is helpful. I think you got fortunate a lot of wins. I think this exposes you for things that showed up in other games, but you kind of got away with it. So I'm looking at January, right, when the games matter. And I think we're going to be there in January. And so I think this game was a good kind of wake-up call. You need to clean your ish up so we can kind of do something in the playoffs. And so I think it's a good loss. Go into a bye, work on stuff, and then come after the bye and win some games.
I can see that. Because you're right, we have seen tackling issues all season, so it's not like this is a new thing.
Yep.
So.
All right.
Yep.
We get some Orioles?
Yeah, where do you want to go with the Orioles?
Well, just a little bit of news here.
They cut some players.
Yeah, they're down to 35 people on their 40-man. This is what we talked about the week before, that they're going to have,
decisions.
and maybe 2 weeks ago, they're going to have, there's a lot of guys. They're going to need to be taken off the 40-man. So this is just the start. All right. Austin Wins was outrighted. Pat Valleca was outrighted. Yep. Tom Eshelman and Connor Wade.
Yeah, no surprises there.
Yeah. And I think Zach Birdie at the end of the season, he was already, but he was picked up by the Diamondbacks. You still have, and that kind of frees up, because right now you're at 35.
Right.
But we talked about this. The guys who were on the 60-man DL or IL have to come off and be put back on the 40-man, because when you go on the 60-day IL, you get removed from the 40-man roster.
Right. So that's 5 players currently. Yeah.
Harvey, Lopez, Aiken, Mateo, and DJ Stewart.
Yep.
All need to come back on the 40-man.
Yeah. I don't think they're all coming back on the 40-man.
You don't think all those 5 guys?
Mm-mm. I think one of them's not.
Which one?
I think DJ Stewart's not coming back.
I think they'll be back there.
All right. We'll see.
And then, of course, you have a bunch of so that it seems like they're removing those 5 guys. Okay, well, there's 5 guys that could kind of fill those spots. But then this is when it's going to come to the Rule 5 next, where you have DL Hall, Cobb Bradish, Terran Vavra, and a whole host of names who need to be protected. So some more names are coming off that 40-man.
Right, and last year we protected 6 players. So that would mean getting it down to 34.
Yeah, and that doesn't include Adley Rutschman, because he's not eligible for the Rule 5 draft.
Right.
But he was going to make the opening day roster, which we think and hope it's going to be in the 40-man. So there's going to be the names of Wins, Valleca, Eshelman, and Wade. That's just the beginning, boys and girls.
Right. And remember, the 40-man roster, half of them are pitchers.
Yeah, half of them are these relievers. Yeah.
Right. So some of those relievers are probably going to go away again.
A lot of them are, yeah.
That's probably where you'll make the difference.
Yeah, and that doesn't include Rule 5, and it doesn't include what hopefully will be a whole bunch of free agent signings that you have to fit on your 40-man too.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, last year there was what? I don't know if I don't remember if King Felix was ever put on the 40-man, actually. If he just got the invite.
I think he got the invite and he never made it.
Yeah.
He was then released shortly after.
But last year you had Matt Harvey and you had Freddie Galvis and Michael Franco, and we'll see who's there this year. In fact, Josh, if you want to go there a little bit, you want to talk a little bit about free agency 2022 and who the Orioles should, could, or will sign?
All right. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Give me some big names.
Well, I look at this as, and I broke it down into, I think, the 3 key spots where I see the most holes. There's really 4 spots, but with the reliever position, there's just so many names. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, relievers I'm not worried about.
Yeah, I don't know. They're all the same to me. I don't know. I mean, there's guys like Michael Givens out there. If you like Michael Givens, you can bring him back if you want. He's a free agent. But I don't know. But as far as so I looked at 3 positions: starting pitching, third base, and shortstop, because I feel like these are kind of the 3 biggest holes that are kind of currently, and for next year will be there on our team.
Right.
I saw some people. I know, like Locked On Orioles. I saw they had a podcast dedicated to who the Orioles should sign as catcher. Whatever. I mean, I want.
Who cares?
I want Adley Rutschman as my catcher.
Yeah.
I don't care who's backing up Adley Rutschman.
Right.
You literally can have Chance Sisco back there, who's a bum. Yeah, I don't care. Anyone back there.
Right.
I would prefer if you brought back my boy Alex Murphy and had him catch. But whatever. You bring back you can put anyone back there. So I don't care. But here are the positions I care about: shortstop, third base, starting pitcher.
Okay. All right. Well,
third base first.
Where do you want to go?
Third base.
All right, let's go third base. Who's the top guy at third base?
There's 2 top guys.
Good.
in the free agent market.
Good, because we'll never get the top guy.
I think the guy who's going to make the most money, I don't know. I don't know how this stuff works. I think the guy who will make the most money is Chris Bryant. He's a free agent.
All right.
The next guy on the list, and this is my dream guy.
Yeah.
At the position of third base. And that's a guy who we recently saw hit 3 home runs in a single playoff game for the Dodgers, and that's Chris Taylor.
Right. Okay.
So
either of those guys, huge improvement from what the Orioles currently have.
Yeah. So this is my dream scenario, right? I don't think it's going to happen in my dream scenario. We signed Chris Taylor from the Dodgers. We signed him.
Chris Taylor's going to get paid well after this postseason.
Yes. And he's also, the cool thing about Chris Taylor, and the reason he's my dream as opposed to maybe Chris Bryant, is defensively, he can move around the whole diamond. He can play a bunch of different positions. And I kind of like that flexibility. And the dude's just kind of fresh in my mind. It's been great. So that's my dream. My hopeful, like this could happen, but it's still very unlikely. But my hopeful is Eduardo Escobar at third base. And then my more realistic probably will happen is, I don't know, I'm just throwing out a guy, Jake Lamb. A guy.
We don't want that.
This is a guy who kind of reminds me of Michael Franco in that he's had some past success, specifically at the bat.
Right.
You hope to kind of recapture some of that previous success he had with the Diamondbacks. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of a realistic guy I see them going after.
Yeah, get him close to minimum.
Yeah. You do some like similar to a Franco deal from last year.
But see, with this whole conversation of the Orioles taking the next step, Jake Lamb is not a next step guy.
No,
is.
Yeah, you could throw out 20 names that are essentially Jake Lamb, right? Like it's not. I mean, I think if you're the Orioles, the only argument you could make is, well, Gunnar Henderson is my third baseman. He's just not quite ready yet, but he'll be ready.
Exactly, but he's not going to be ready
the year after.
But he's not going to be ready the following year either. You think he's ready in 2022?
I think he's ready
2023.
Yeah, I think he's ready 2023.
Okay,
because he's ended this year at Bowie, so next year he's going to end at Norfolk.
Okay,
and
so then you're putting in a placeholder, gambling on your AAA guy.
Yeah. At shortstop, and I think it's okay. I think it's okay for the Orioles to say, listen, at third base, we have Jordan Westberg, we have Gunnar Henderson, we have Terran Vavra. Like we have this shortstops we believe in, and if one of them works out, that can be a third baseman. But what I don't want to do is saying, okay, Jordan Westberg's our shortstop, Gunnar Henderson's our third baseman,
these guys
Anthony Servidio's our second baseman, because the guys are not all going to work out like that.
Right, and you can easily move a shortstop or third baseman to second base.
Yeah.
You can move them around.
But you give me 3 really good prospects, and you hope that one of them works out.
Right.
All
right, so shortstop. Shortstop, there's like one name on the list we want.
And by the way, that you hope one of them works out, just look at our outfield. We have so many prospects. How many of them worked out so far? Yeah, but anyway, shortstop. Dream scenario, of course, I've been saying it forever. Carlos Correa. That's my dude.
It's the only guy we want on that list.
Yeah.
It's a big step down after him.
Well, no. Actually, there's I don't know. You could argue like 4 great.
All right, give me the 4 great shortstops.
Carlos Correa, Corey Seager from the Dodgers.
Okay.
Marcus Semien, who actually had the highest WAR of any shortstop this year, for the Blue Jays, and then Trevor Story.
I like Trevor Story, but he's getting old, isn't he?
No, he's still 29. Carlos Correa is the youngest of that group at 27. But Corey Seager's 28, so he's young too.
Okay. All right,
Javier Baez is another guy that could play short, but he also plays second.
Those 4 guys, I would believe in. You're trying to improve the team.
Oh my gosh, yes. But all those would be huge deals.
Yeah, there'll be money and multi-years.
Yes.
That's what I expect from the Orioles this offseason.
All right, well,
5-year deals.
That's fine, Josh. You're not getting it, but you have every right to expect it. My hopeful, this is actually a hopeful, because there is, after you get through Correa, Seager, Semien, Story, maybe Baez, then there's a huge drop-off. So my hopeful guy, I'll put 2 people here. Jonathan VR, Josh, would you have any interest in bringing Jonathan Villar back?
No,
I actually would.
no. I'm done with Villar.
You are? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought he was pretty good for us, and I think he can be.
He was. I enjoyed him, but that was a few years ago. He's now older.
He's 31. I guess I'm intrigued by the idea of like a Mullins and a VR on the bases and their speed, and then you throw Mateo. Like just the speed entices me with VR.
Okay.
The other guy that I don't know if this is a hopeful or realistic. I think it can be realistic too, and that's an Andralton Simmons. He had a down year for Minnesota this year, but great defensive shortstop for many years with the Angels. Okay at the bat, but great defensively. So Simmons could be another guy. But realistic would probably be Jose Iglesias again.
Exactly.
All our shortstops are there, Josh. We could have Villar. We could have Freddie Galvis. We could have Jose Iglesias this year.
I know, but we don't want any of those guys. We've been there, done that.
Yeah.
Probably got the T-shirt giveaway.
Who's the next Jose Iglesias? I don't know.
All right. Now pitching is going to be even more money, but pitching is the biggest need on this team.
Yes.
So who's the top pitchers? And we have a bad track record of signing free agent pitchers. Previous administrations, but it's still a bad track record.
Well, and it's not just in our defense, it's not just us. I was just looking at the article. Oh, now I'm blanking on his name. For the Nationals, in the offseason, they signed the lefty. What was his name? I want to say Colton. That's not his name. I can't believe I'm blanking on his name. The lefty they signed to a big deal. Oh, that's going to drive me nuts the whole show. Anyway.
Corbin?
Yes, Patrick Corbin. Thank you. They signed Patrick Corbin to this huge deal in the offseason, and he was, one of the worst pitchers in their team. He had an atrocious year. So it's not like there's just a higher swing and miss probability with starting pitchers.
Right.
I mean,
and
this is the reason.
You never know how much success pitchers are having because of the division they're in, the teams they're facing.
Yeah, and there's more injuries.
AL East, yep.
I mean, there's a reason the Dodgers gave Trevor Bauer $1 billion to pitch for 1 year as opposed to, a 5-year deal. Because they said, we want to give you a ton more money for 1 year, but decrease our risk, in signing a 5-year deal. Right. So, and I think you're going to see that trend continue where teams are more willing to give pitchers a lot more money for 1 or 2 years than,
right, because
5 or 6 years.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, yeah, again, I think there's lots of questions in this offseason and free agency, but we'll get to that. All right, so let's go. Top guys.
Dream pitcher, your boy, and this is outside of Oriole pitchers. He is my favorite pitcher in baseball. I know this would be your dream scenario as well, too, Josh. Another Dodger, Mark Scherzer.
Yeah. Max Scherzer. Not
Max
Scherzer.
Scherzer.
Mark Scherzer is the guy where you accidentally – Mark Scherzer is the fantasy move you make where you accidentally sign the wrong guy thinking you're getting the great guy.
Yeah, and then you realize it, and then you try to trade Mark Scherzer to someone else.
Exactly.
If they're a sucker too.
Exactly. Mark Scherzer is where you missed up.
Scherzer.
No, Max Scherzer's great. Any concern with him being hurt right now?
Oh, with the dead arm?
With the dead arm.
No. I'm surprised more pitchers don't have dead arms. And we talked a lot about what happened last season.
That's true, many innings, especially coming off the short season. No, Max Scherzer's my number one. I like everything about Max Scherzer. I even like that he has one green eye and one blue eye.
That's one of my favorite things about him.
The fact when he pitches in Washington and they put his two eyes up on the jumbotron and flashes the green and blue, it's my favorite moment. I love Max Scherzer.
My next favorite, that's my second favorite moment. My first favorite moment for Max Scherzer is when any manager tries to pull him out and he doesn't want to come out. He will wave you back to the dugout. He will say, "Get back in the dugout. I'm not leaving this game."
No, I love Max Scherzer.
Yeah, he is 37. I
don't care.
Okay, I don't care either.
I don't care. I love Max Scherzer. If Max Scherzer could come and have a crappy season, and I would still enjoy Max Scherzer in my lineup, in my rotation.
Well, and you could, Josh, imagine. This is kind of dreaming, but imagine having him there when you got guys like Grayson Rodriguez coming up and Cobb coming up. It'd be great to have that veteran for all these young pitchers.
Yeah, and imagine Adley catching Max Scherzer.
Oh my God,
it's wonderful. It's dreams.
It's a dream though.
Yes. So you're right. That's my favorite guy. We don't even need to talk any more pitchers. That's who I want.
Yeah. Two hopeful guys here. I got two for hopeful. Eduardo Rodriguez, former minor league Oriole.
Okay. I mean,
And
I'd be fine with that.
Current Boston Red Sox pitcher.
Yeah,
And
I'm fine with bringing him back.
And Marcus Stroman, former Blue Jay pitcher, more
Mets
recently
pitcher.
the Mets.
Yeah.
I like it because he's had a lot of success in the AL East pitching.
That's true.
I
don't know. I don't have the confidence in Stroman, but he's better than anything we've got. And I understand your point about success in the AL East. And we've seen way too many pitchers struggle in the AL East.
Yeah, I feel like you want a guy who's done it before. Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, I'm all right with Stroman.
But those are still hopefuls. I don't feel like it's gonna happen.
I think this is a hopeful year.
Yeah. All right. Realistic. My first guy. You've heard of him. Matt Harvey.
I think you can have Matt Harvey and the other guys. Matt Harvey's not going to cost you anything. Matt Harvey's not going to be a top of the rotation guy. I have no problem bringing back Matt Harvey.
Josh, if you just look on Fangraphs at WAR, based on what the pitcher did at 2021, their WAR in 2021, Matt Harvey ranks as the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14th best free agent starter available based on previous year's WAR. The 14th best.
Bring Matt Harvey back. I had no issue with Matt Harvey this year. I enjoyed watching Matt Harvey.
He is higher than Corey Kluber for the Yankees. He's higher than Rich Hill for the Mets. His WAR is higher than Zach Greinke's was this year. Higher than Michael Wacha's was this year. I mean, he's ahead of some pretty good names there.
Yeah.
Other realistic guys. I got two more. Or I got three more. Aaron Sanchez. Here's a guy who, recently was for the Giants. Before that, played for the Blue Jays. Struggled, but I think showed signs in kind of his younger days as being a good pitcher. So I could see them going up for someone like that.
Yeah.
Another guy, Zach Davies.
I like Davies. Yeah. I could see the argument to bring in Zach Davies in. It's not the star I want, but I can see the argument to bring him in.
Yeah. Another, again, I don't know, maybe just I'm saying guys whose names I recognize because he's another guy who was in our minor league system before we traded away. So it's just a familiar name. And he's coming off not a great year with the Cubs. And so I think that could be a realistic target. Mm-hmm. And then my last guy, another former Oriole, Cobb. First name Alex Cobb.
No, I'm all right. I'm done with Alex Cobb.
All right. You know what's interesting about Alex Cobb, Josh? Can I make a?
He knows the system. He's got an apartment.
If you look at according to Fangraphs, projected WAR for next year.
Yeah. Here's
the top pitchers: Max Scherzer at 5.1, Carlos Rendon at 4.1, Kevin Gossman. Josh, you have any interest in bringing Kevin Gossman back?
I do. I like Kevin Gossman a lot. I like him as a person. I think he's a decent pitcher.
I like him as a person too. I think he's a pretty good pitcher in the NL West.
Yeah, I think Mike Elias would have no interest in bringing him back.
Yeah,
I don't think Mike Elias wants no memories of previous administrations.
And if he came here, my expectations would be for him to have an ERA around 4.9, mm-hmm. And which would help us, but I don't think that's really the answer.
It is better than other guys.
Yeah, but no, it's Scherzer, Rendon, Gossman, Robbie Ray, Alex Wood, Eduardo Rodriguez, Marcus Stroman, and then Alex Cobb is listed at a 2.7 projected WAR on that list. So he's listed as a top 10 pitcher, top 10 free agent pitcher, according to Fangraphs, projected to next year. Does that?
It doesn't excite me.
Yeah, he's going to be 34. He had a decent year this year with the Angels.
Right.
So
no excitement there.
All right. All right, fine. I mean, his numbers this year, and he showed flash with the Orioles. He won 8 games, lost 3 this year with the Angels. Only threw 93 innings, right? Because injuries and stuff. Mm-hmm. But had an ERA of 3.76.
I mean, okay. So the stats. Here's the problem. He didn't pitch in Camden Yards all that time.
Yeah, I know.
Pitchers do different in Baltimore, and it sucks. But we see it time and time again that people leave Baltimore and do way better. So I don't have the confidence that coming back will be great.
All right. I'm just trying to prepare you, Josh, for an
For it
Orioles
not to be Max
offseason
Scherzer.
that includes Matt Harvey and Alex Cobb as our big free agent pitchers.
All right, but come
I'm
on.
just trying
But
to
let's
prepare
be
you for that.
serious. But what if we did get Correa? We did get Max Scherzer. We did get who was the guy at third base? Who's your top guy?
Oh, Chris Taylor.
Chris Taylor. This team would be something special.
Yes.
And have a high payroll.
We would have a high payroll. We would also need to start with Adley Rutschman. We would also need to bring up Kyle Bradish and Grayson Rodriguez really soon.
Yeah.
Because we would need more pitching help.
Right.
But and that's the question. If
But
you
everyone
bring
will
in,
be talking about the Orioles again.
Yeah, it would be, Josh. But if you bring in Scherzer, Taylor, Correa, is that a World Series team? I still don't know if you have the pitching. I don't even know if I think you'd be maybe a 500 team with the rest of our pitching staff as it is. I don't know.
Right. It is once a week, at least.
Once a week.
Yeah. When Scherzer pitches.
Yeah, what are we gonna do for the rest? What are we gonna do for the rest of the week? And heaven forbid if he gets hurt at 38 years old or whatever he is. So, all right. But I think, and I would encourage you guys if you look at other intriguing names, just random intriguing names. Nelson Cruz is a free agent. Or I don't know, intriguing names is the right word, but kind of familiar names.
You just want to make a team up of former Orioles. That's all you want to do.
Yeah, this is me actually on MLB The Show. That's pretty much what I do.
Right.
All these players nobody else wants. Let me re-sign Adam Jones. No one wants him. What? I can get him for a one-year deal. I'll take Adam Jones. I'll take Nelson Cruz. And let's rock and roll.
So free agency begins 6 days after the World Series.
Yeah.
So in about 2 weeks.
You could have TJ McFarland's a free agent this year if you want him in your bullpen.
Right. But the problem is this current CBA expires December 1st at midnight.
Josh, always bringing me down with the CBA.
I got to bring. Well, I guess technically it's December 2nd because it's December 1st at 11:59. So December 2nd, the CBA expires. That's probably going to be less than a month. That will be less than a month after free agency opens up.
So, Josh, I assume they won't have a CBA agreement by the time free agency starts, right?
I assume that. I don't think they will by December 1st.
So what's going to happen? You think? So it makes you wonder, though.
I think it's going to be a really quiet November.
Would no teams make moves until they figure the CBA thing out?
I think so.
Will there be a mad dash to make moves before the CBA messes with all the contracts?
Article I read today said agents are preparing for a mad dash in March.
Oh, so they think they're going to be another.
They think this is going to be slow, do nothing, expire on December 2nd, do a lockout a few days later, and hit an agreement in March and open things back up.
Well, that's not good for the Orioles.
No. It's not. None of this is good for baseball.
Well, but I'm saying, like, the Orioles usually like to wait to sign all your guys and let me see who's left. But if no one's signing,
exactly,
then it pushes everything back.
If everyone's
they'll sign someone in June.
Right. So I was reading. So it seems like some of the big hiccups in this is that the teams want to remove arbitration, which is understandable. They want to change it so that instead of having these arbitration years, you just become a free agent at age 29 and a half.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about, but that means that you're signing so how does the contracts work?
What do you mean? So that's your standard. If you sign a contract, you extend it past that 29 and a half.
But I'm saying you get drafted.
Yep.
You make the majors. You're making kind of league minimum.
Yep.
Every year you get raised. Every year you get a raise.
Yep.
And then kind of based on arbitration, you get a raise. So how will you determine raises without arbitration?
You won't. There are no raises.
No one gets raises.
No raises until 29 and a half.
So everyone's playing on their rookie contract, making no money until they're 29?
29 and a half.
No. The players want that?
No, the teams want that.
Oh, the teams want that.
The teams want it. The teams want.
I'm sure.
The teams want player control until 29 and a half, where you just become a free agent.
Right.
The teams also want a payroll floor and to lower the luxury threshold. And the players are afraid that putting a payroll floor means that if they agree to a floor, that the owners will also agree to a salary cap and limit things in the middle.
Because player floor seems to be an advantage for the players.
The players. They think it's a trap.
Oh, trap.
Don't accept the floor because you can't have a floor without a ceiling.
Yeah.
Clearly, they don't know like what a patio is.
Yeah, patio, you have a floor but no ceiling.
Exactly.
What about an umbrella? Can we do an umbrella?
Well, an umbrella would be a floor with a ceiling with no floor.
I feel like the umbrella,
And that'd be
you
a
have patio
movable
with an
ceiling.
umbrella, is the luxury tax.
The luxury tax? Why? Because it can be raised or lowered
It can be raised or lowered,
and
it's
just
not
blown
like,
away if you need to.
It won't keep you completely dry, but like it does something
And I mean,
to discourage the rain.
Right, it does a little. Right, it discourages the rain in a small area and gives you an excuse. But if you want to get wet, you can still get
You
wet.
can just you can take one step over and you can say, "Hey,
Right.
listen, we can't spend any more money because."
But I'll get wet.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
So okay, I mean, but yeah, Josh, do you imagine though with these CBA? Do you think there'll be any? It seems like they fight about all these things, kind of like Congress. They fight about all these things, and then they pass some little tiny specific law, and nothing really changes. Don't you feel like they're going to talk about all these big things, and then there'll be like one or two really minor, small things that change?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. But also, I know like baseball is making a ton of money. People call it a dying sport, but it's making a ton of money. I think there's some things baseball could do better. We all agree with it. If I was the players, I would want baseball to promote players better. I think there's a big issue with starting pitching and how starting pitching is being used. I can see some stuff where players want some rule changes. Owners want some money control. I can see some issues. But in the end, you know how it goes. All these issues always come down to money. And it's the rich fighting the rich. And I don't know. At least it's not mid-season.
Yeah.
A mid-season lockdown is the worst.
Yeah. Have this fight in the offseason, but I'm already going to be tired, and it looks like you're all over it with all these rumors. What people are saying. This
and you're already tired of it and don't care.
Tired. But Josh, I think about it as things I would like to see happen. I think there are two things that I would love to see happen. Maybe I should put this in my dream scenario versus realistic scenario versus hopeful. But my dream scenario, which I don't think will happen, but my dream scenario, and we talked about this on the show before, is that they would address service time and get rid of service time. So I could see Adley Rutschman whenever. I don't have to wait for him to do the whole service thing.
And I think that's part of this 29.5 thing.
Yeah.
Is adjusting service time.
Yeah.
Because then there's incentive of if I send them up there at 22, I have them in the majors for 7 years versus 4 years.
Right. So
yes,
because if there's no arbitration, that would go at service time. The other thing,
we hate that. Right. Anytime we saw that with Manny, there's talk of it with Adley. You hate anything holding your player back for a stupid business thing like that.
Yeah, I agree. And then it would take all the speculation out. Because if you really had Adley down there to work on stuff, then okay, but it would just remove all the speculation.
And it would make sense with the shrinking of the minor leagues. And it would take us back to like 90s baseball and earlier when guys came up young.
Yeah, I think that'd be good for baseball because you have more time to get attached to these stars. I think it'd be good for baseball.
And it works for football. Football, they go straight from college into the NFL.
Basketball too. Yep.
The
other thing I would like to say, but I don't think that's going to happen because I think that's be too much work and would change too many things and too many concessions would be needed to make that happen. Even though I think it'd be better for owners and players, but whatever. The other thing I would like to see, and I think this is realistic and can get done, is the universal DH. Right, that's happening. Right, that has to happen. I'm tired of these pitchers hitting.
I agree. I think universal DH. I get the tradition, but you got to give it in for the players.
Yeah, it's just and now it's just a matter of time. I think most people agree. You have some old throwbacks, but most people agree it's better for the players because players can play longer as a DH. I think it's better for the owners because I think it's more entertaining baseball. You can make more money with a more entertaining product. So I hope that happens. And I think it will. Yeah. And then the other dream scenario I have. So I'll put hopeful service time, realistic DH, dream. Here's I got a new dream one. You know what my dream is?
What?
Division realignment.
That's not coming. That's not coming.
I said this is my dream, Josh. Division realignment. We're no longer in the dreaded AL East with the Yankees and the Red Sox and the Blue Jays. Put us with Pittsburgh. Put us with I'll take Philly in there. I don't care. But yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Is there anything in the CBA, Josh, that you're looking at and you're saying, man, that's my if they get one thing done, here's the thing I hope they get done?
I mean, division realignment, it sounds pretty good.
Robot umps.
No, I don't care about robot umps.
I don't either.
I don't care. Just get it settled. I just want baseball. Yeah. I don't want a lockout. I don't want my spring training screwed up. I don't want Adley Rushman's appearance screwed up. I don't want the lack of free agent signing screwed up. Just get it done.
Josh, but if it does mess up, just think about it. If when the strike happened last time, if there was social media like there is today, you would have went viral with your field of dreams crossed out and greed written on there. You went viral. This could be another opportunity to make the sign and go viral this time.
I believe
in the age of social media.
Actually, you know what? If they do a lockout, then I'll have to.
We can recreate the picture.
We have to recreate the picture. Yeah. We definitely have to recreate the picture. Maybe I'll be up there for Christmas or something. We'll recreate the picture.
Yeah, can you find another shirt like that?
I'm sure we can. We will recreate the picture if they hit that, because you're right. I did go viral. I was on every news broadcast, every newspaper, and even in a couple encyclopedias.
Oh, that would have gotten a ton of retweets back in the day. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I'm all for that.
All right.
So
that's something to root for.
Yeah, good idea to do that.
All right, ready to get some ball 4?
Yeah, I want to tell you about this new podcast.
I'm curious about this podcast, yeah.
All right, new podcast. Let's just start ball 4 right off with this new podcast. Right. New podcast just launched today. One episode out. It's one of these like season-long podcasts, storytelling podcasts.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
All right?
Yeah.
All right, but this one's a story that's near and dear to us.
Oh, good.
It's a story that takes place in Baltimore.
Oh, my.
It's a story that we know one of the hosts of the podcast.
We know one of the hosts. Like, we personally know or like know about him?
Personally know one of the hosts.
Okay.
I was chatting with him right before coming on the podcast tonight, congratulating him.
Okay. I like where this is headed.
All right. Big podcast. It's called The Rumor.
Okay. Is it is it a radio or podcast guy? Like, is it someone who is like, okay, this is not surprising. He's doing this. Is it like Jeremy Kahn, who we know? No. And it's not Jeremy Kahn.
No. Guy, let's see. I think he's been on the show before.
Been on our show?
Yes.
Okay.
He is we've met him in person.
Okay.
At least once. Let's see. Well, but we'll get to the host in a minute.
The rumor.
When I say the rumor, what do you think the podcast is about?
The rumor.
You're going to go subscribe right after this show.
All right. My mind goes to Orioles, Baltimore, rumor. We're going Kevin Costner.
Why would there be a whole podcast about that?
Josh, there are knuckleheads out there that would make an entire episode just about the Kevin Gossman
But
thing.
you are correct.
Oh,
you
really?
are correct. Yes. It is The Rumor, a story about conspiracy theories, baseball, and the Baltimore power grid.
Do they know, Josh, that you already did this thing?
I did one episode about this, and I told the host about this. All right, now.
He stole it from you, Josh.
Yeah, now.
Copyright stuff.
All right, now. We've worked with a lot of podcasters over the years.
Sure.
If there's a podcaster friend of ours, who would you want to be the guy to tell a story about Baltimore?
A podcast guy that I want.
Podcast guy, we know, friend of the show, that you're like, we've basically anyone who's done a podcast in Baltimore, we've befriended. Yeah. So of all these guys, who would you want? Hey, that's the guy that I want to do a storytelling podcast talking about something related to the Orioles.
See, now I would go with I like the Baltimoreans, but they recently moved to New York City, so I'm not sure about that. But Sam Dingman is like, this is what he does. So Sam Dingman would be the guy.
Have you ever met Sam Dingman?
Yeah. I mean, we talked on podcast. I think I met him in person. Yes, we met in person before. Yes.
Yeah, where did we meet Sam Dingman?
In Cleveland, right?
In Cleveland, yes.
Yeah.
Sam Dingman is one of the co-hosts of this podcast.
That's perfect. You're right. That is perfect? That's perfect.
So I want everyone to go check out The Rumor. First episode's out now.
I'm downloading The Rumor as we speak.
I was telling someone down here today, I said, if you want to understand me better, you need to listen to this podcast.
Yeah.
Because I think it gets to something about the heart of Orioles baseball and Oriole fandom. This story about Kevin Costner, Cal Ripken, and the lights going out.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'm glad it's not some random dude I don't know doing the podcast. That's
exactly.
Cool.
I'm glad it's not like Buster Olney doing the podcast. It's a guy who, just like us, like heard this rumor in high school when we were in school, and somehow we all heard the same rumor across the entire state without the internet. Where you talked about going viral. This story would be all over the place if it happened today.
Yeah.
So. I'm excited.
If Sam Dingman's doing it, it's also going to be high quality because that's what he does. Yeah,
exactly,
cool.
And it's very professionally done. It's released by Blue Wire, which happens to be the same.
Isn't that super impressive, Josh? That I went right to the Baltimoreans with you. We said anyone. Like I was thinking maybe Charlie Hoppes. No, I went right to Baltimoreans.
And you picked the right one. You picked the right guy.
Yeah.
So no, and I kind of thought I was hoping you would because it's the right guy. It's the perfect fit. All right.
Well, and I know he's done, and I haven't really followed his career, but I know he's done other storytelling podcasts in New York.
Right. He does like the ghost story, ghost family ghost.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what happened is I saw this podcast come up, and at first I got annoyed because I was like, this is what I wanted to do a podcast on. I just didn't
literally
have the
did a podcast on it.
I did one episode on this as a sample saying this is what I wanted to do a podcast on.
And it's good too.
Right. So they're digging deep into one story for the entire season.
So this is all about
it.
The streak, or all about Cal Ripken? I mean, all about the Kevin Costner.
All about the rumor, which I'm excited about because I still don't understand how we all heard the same exact rumor.
Have you listened to episode 1?
I've listened to part of episode 1. I listened to the trailer, and so here's what happened: is I saw the podcast get announced, and I saw it was on Blue Wire. I'm on Blue Wire. I'm a podcast host on Blue Wire because of Film Study. So I go over to the Blue Wire message board. And I say, hey, guys, who's the host on this show? I need them on 336 right away.
Right.
And then I hit the trailer, and the trailer's playing, and it's got audio from Kevin Costner. It's got audio from Cal talking about it. It's got Rock or John Mioli, one of those guys. I don't remember which one.
That was probably pre-John Mioli, right?
Yeah, so I think it was Rock. It was anyway, it was a bunch of voices I recognized. They didn't say who the voices were, but I recognized the voices.
Well, I guess they could have interviewed John Mioli now.
Right. I guess their voices. But it was voices I recognized because they're Baltimore sports guys. And suddenly they're like, your host, Max, and Sam Dingman. And I'm like, whoa. So I deleted my message on Blue Wire and just went straight to texting Sam. Yeah. And saying, guys, you got to get on here. So we're working it out that Sam.
You have Sam's phone number?
Yeah.
You have saved on your phone?
Yeah. You want it?
No, I might have it on my phone.
Okay. All right. So anyway, I reached out. We're going to get him and Max on soon to talk about this.
Yeah, no, that'd be fun.
I assume it's weekly. First episode dropped today. Check it out. It's The Rumor.
Yeah, I will be checking that out.
And I don't even care if we have any more ball fours.
I don't really have any balls prepared.
I think this is just something we had to talk about.
Yeah, that's cool. No, I'm pumped for that. I'm pumped to have them on the show. I think that'd be that's gonna be cool.
It'll be fun. We'll definitely it's so amazing that it's a true Baltimore guy telling the story.
Well, I think he lives in New York now.
Yeah, but it's a guy who grew up in this area.
Well, it had a Baltimore Orioles podcast, the Baltimoreans, for several years. Yeah.
Exactly. And we'll talk to him about the Baltimoreans, I'm sure. But it was just fun to see it being a friend of a show. And there's no way that this podcast is not going to be successful.
Well, it'll be, at least here in Baltimore, it'll be successful.
I think it's going to be successful all over the place. It's a great story. It's fun. Yeah. If they can really dig into it, it's going to be a fun podcast.
Yeah, and I feel that, it's a great topic as far as even other seasons. There's plenty to choose from as far as conspiracies in sports.
Yep.
Or in baseball specifically.
Right. So I forgot to ask you, how'd your flight go back to Baltimore? You came down here to St. Augustine. You checked out the sites down here. You went to Buc-ee's.
Went to Buc-ee's.
I've been praising everyone at about Buc-ee's on here months. How did you like Buc-ee's? Highlight of your trip.
The highlight of my trip. Until, Josh, I got to the airport and I went through security, no problem. I'm usually the guy who has an issue at security. This time I went through no problem.
Well, yeah, you pre-planned.
But Emily was pulled aside. They opened up her pack. They opened up her bag. They had to open up and check things out.
Why? Because
they said the TSA guy said, "Excuse me, ma'am, what are these?" And Emily said,
beaver nuggets?
"Sir, those are beaver nuggets." And then what really got her, it wasn't just the beaver nuggets. She had at Buc-ee's. We also got this mix to make because we got a bunch of apples, as I talked about before, to make apple whatever. But it's just a bunch of powder in these boxes. So he was going through all the powder and checking all the powder to make sure it was, That's
fun.
Yeah, she had beaver nuggets in the back too.
Beaver nuggets are great.
I'm not a fan of the beaver nuggets.
You didn't like the beaver nuggets?
I don't like the beaver nuggets.
But
Buc-ee's is a very cool store. I don't really understand. Like there was a lot of stuff with Buc-ee's on it or with the little beaver on it. I don't really understand.
I told you,
walking around with a Buc-ee shirt. I don't want a Buc-ee's shirt though. I don't want a shirt with a beaver staring out there. I don't want pajamas with a bunch of beavers on it. I'll pass on that.
Yeah, you're getting something from Buc-ee's for Christmas.
Okay, well then give me some of those animal crackers dipped in yogurt and chocolate, or some good beef jerky. I'll eat that.
Or that peanut butter trail mix.
Oh yeah, that peanut butter trail mix was banging. Like that was. I looked on the bottom of the bag, the back of the bag.
Yeah.
And while I was finishing it up, and it said 9 servings as I just finished it. So
yes, you ate the whole bag.
As I ate the whole bag by myself.
The beaver nuggets. Those beaver nuggets just disappear.
Yeah. But Buc-ee's is cool. Yeah, Josh. I know it sucks. You're up there stuck with the in-laws, but stuck with your parents. My parents as well.
So my parents.
But in-laws
would be really awkward right now.
Yeah, that would be really awkward. But if you're going to be stuck with your parents somewhere, it's a pretty good location to be stuck.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Pool, walking distance to the beach. Like I could get used to that.
No, it was nice to get some time with you this weekend.
Hanging out with the gals, playing pickleball. I was like, after a weekend, I was like, you know what? I think I'm ready to retire. I could go down there and retire.
I've told you before. It's like high school down here with all the old people.
Josh, it meets. All I know about old people communities is from what I've seen on Seinfeld, and it kind of lines right up with everything I expected.
Yeah, this is Boca Vista.
Yeah, I was just waiting for someone to offer me an astronaut pen. Yeah. But yeah, it lined up pretty well.
Yep.
So no, it was a good trip.
Yeah, mom and dad leave this weekend, so then it was just me, a single guy in Boca Vista.
Oh, nice, cool, living it up.
Yep.
All right.
So,
still sore from pickleball. Give me a couple more days to recover.
Yeah, that was entertaining.
Yeah.
So.
All right, ready to get out of here?
Let's go.
I have to go. I'm going to go watch some Saints and
Seahawks.
Geno Smith.
Seahawks. I put some money on the Seahawks for tonight.
I put some money on the Saints. Someone's going to win some money tonight.
All right. Yeah, we got a winner.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, my whole logic is if you barely beat or you barely lost to the Steelers, you must be really bad. And last week, the Seahawks barely ended up losing to the Steelers. And so I'm like, oh, you must be bad if you lost to the Steelers.
Yeah.
That's my whole logic.
And my argument is always the same. I don't trust the Saints.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't trust Jameis Winston. I don't know. He could throw for 300 yards. He could throw for 100 yards and 4 interceptions. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. I tried to click on to see where the score was. And the NFL.com website is one of the worst websites out there.
Yeah, I know. I have to, even to check scores, I got to go to ESPN. I can't even go to the NFL thing because...
why is the NFL.com so screwed up that, when I click, there we go. Seahawks are up 7-0 as we record.
All right. Time to do some more in-game gambling when I get out of here.
Yep. All right, let's get out of here.
All right, guys. Check us out on all your social media platforms. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You can follow us on Twitter at Section336Show. You can follow me on Twitter at Section336. You can follow Josh on Twitter.
At Josh Soroka.
Thanks for listening, boys and girls. And as always, go O's and go Ravens.